So how's everything going? So got several different things that I had kind of looked over last night, and though this is still supposed to be a quiet time, I want people to really understand where I'm coming from. I definitely know how to take my time to myself and not do certain things, but I just find some of the stuff interesting. Um, so what provoked me looking at the trailer of the movie Creator was I was over at my people's house, and he happened to be watching the movie, and I just started hearing a lot of different language from the movie that I believe personally he may have been unaware of. And I think a lot of people are when it comes to entertainment and different things like that. They don't see the subtlety in, almost everything that we come in contact with. But upon watching this movie, and, some interesting scenes in it, as you can see from the trailer. But what caught my attention, because I'm not a movie watcher, unless I'm doing it with like my significant other, or I'm taking my son to watch something, or he's asking me to come watch a movie or something with him. That's not something I usually do on my own. At times I take a look at some things, but just because from a personal experience, and this is just personally, like, you ain't gotta necessarily agree with my stance, but I feel like a lot of the new stuff isn't as good as the old stuff. And that's just my opinion. And I've watched the old stuff so much that, I'm tired of seeing it. And then, even on the other side of that, the new stuff, they don't do nothing but copy the old stuff. Don't nobody come up with nothing new. Kind of like how I was describing the enemy. And so, one of the points that I noticed in that movie Creator was the fact that it was a dialogue between two different characters, but it was something that I heard. He said, now that humans and machines have been merged, they were saying now that this thing has happened, they can bring in this order of peace. And I'm like, when I hear stuff like, and I always got the urge to speak up on it, but when I do, a lot of people don't understand. I've encountered a lot of those situations with, my son's mother, and she don't like when I speak up and say, oh, that's something. Like, she don't like when I point out certain things that are happening in the movie. She just, wants, I guess, in the dark to be in the dark. And, that's her stance on that. But hearing that and seeing that, it shows me something that was taught to me as well about predictive programming, and how, and this movie, 4 or 5 years old, mind you. So how you doing, bro? Put it in perspective. But how they show you something to get you to come in agreement with it, to later on you're numb to any red flags or warning signs to that thing that you may have not been, should you have not encountered that thing as something that you like. You get what I'm saying? And so that's interesting in itself. But with all that being said, going back to what I was saying earlier, what I've been saying for a while, it's important to analyze the things that we come in agreement with. Not just relationships, not just like anything. It says, to bring all our thoughts captive into the obedience of Christ. And so it's not just music. Not just movies. It's things we eat, how we interact with people, all these different things. The different worldly and earthly agendas that we come in agreement with that we may think are innocent. We have to be leery of all these things because we understand God created everything on words. Words are the most powerful thing on this planet. And so you need to understand when they're being used for you, how you doing, and being used against you. Sorry about that.